everyone. We hope you're ready to add a couple more titles to your TBR piles this week.
Yes, and we also mentioned last week that we're looking to evaluate our e-resources, and we'd be really happy if you would give us some feedback. Either tell us what you love about the ones that we do have, or give us suggestions for new ones. We've already had one suggestion from one of our patrons, but please keep them coming. Jade, what have you read lately?
So, spooky season is my favorite, but it has been a very long time since I've been kept up at night after reading a book because of its creep factor. But Lisa Jewell's latest book, Invisible Girl, definitely fits that bill. So it changes perspectives between a few characters. Probably most importantly is Sapphire Maddox. I think that name is the best ever. But she's a 17-year-old girl who goes missing in a usually quiet neighborhood, kind of amidst a bunch of attacks on other women as well. So that kind of cranks up the anxiety a little bit. So there are about 3 main suspects on our list. Firstly is Owen. He is a teacher who is facing allegations of inappropriate behavior at school. He lives with his aunt. He also kind of has some recent dealings with the incel or involuntary celibate group online, and they have absolutely atrocious views of women, this particular subsect. Secondly, we have Rowan, who is Sapphire Maddox's former clinician. He also lives across the street from Owen, and he cheats on his wife all the time. Lastly, we have Josh, who's Rowan's loner son. He's really, really quiet and kind of keeps sneaking off to places, and his mother, who is also Rowan's wife, kind of can't account for either of them on this critical Valentine's night when Sapphire Maddox goes missing. So there are, a lot of people who possibly took Sapphire Maddox. And what I love the most about Lisa Jewell's writing is that she gives you just enough details about every suspect that you have so much suspicion in everyone, you can't decide who it might actually be, which makes you read right to the last page.
Oh, wow. Well, pretty spooky. I'm not sure about that for me, Jade. But I just finished reading a book, Isabella Lande's A Long Petal of the Sea, not to the sea, A Long Petal of the Sea. And it's not my normal reading, but once I started, I just couldn't put it down. It's an incredibly beautifully written book. It's slightly historical, which I'm not that fond of myself in terms of a novel, but it's the 1930s, and civil war has just erupted in Spain. General Franco has overthrown the government, and a lot of the people who disagree with his points of view are fleeing because a lot of treachery. There are a lot of killings, genocide, in one way, I guess it could be. And we follow here, it's the romance, I guess, that gets me. We follow here the story of 2 young people, Rosa, a pregnant young widow, and Victor, a military doctor. And they make, along with a lot of other people, they make a treacherous journey across the mountains over to France for freedom. From there, they get on a boat called the SS Winnipeg and head for Chile. Now, the other interesting byline with this book that I really enjoyed, and it's because I love poetry, is that the boat, the SS Winnipeg, was chartered by Pablo Neruda, who's a Chilean poet. And every chapter starts with 2 or 3 phrases from his poetry, and A Long Petal of the Sea is in one of his poems, and he won a Nobel Prize actually for his poetry, which I did not know before I read this book, but I researched afterwards. Rosa and Victor do make a wonderful life for themselves, but all the time they're always looking to go back to Spain, their home, their homeland. What the story really ends up confirming is that you don't have to go back. They did go back to Spain. You don't have to go back to some nebulous place that you think is home. Home is where you make it. And that's what I liked about this book.
That's a great message. That's wonderful. Well, I guess that's all we have for you guys today. So we'll see you next week.
Bye.
We want to thank you guys for participating in another one of our virtual programs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.